This is Bella's BARTOK, and you're listening to
Recess with Spinelli.
You are listening to Recess with Spinelli here on WSPN, Saratoga Springs, New York, Hoxton FM, London, England, and the New York State Music Blog. And today we're here with Asher and Amory of Bella's BARTOK out of Northampton, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, thank you.
Now, you guys displayed an amazing amount of energy on stage, definitely sweating, and I understand that you've done multiple shows in one day.
Yes, we played in Woodbury, Vermont at the Alive and Dead Fest earlier today, and then we sped on over to play here at the Putnam Den, and we haven't slept in days. It's our only mode of income, and it's our life. It's our joy.
Oh, so this is a full-time job for you guys then?
Oh, yes. Definitely. Actually, we've been transitioning into this for the past year, and the past 2 months I finally kind of made that leap. Hopefully it's not a fall.
So this is fairly recent. What have been some of the risks then, or some of the achievements as to making this a full-time job?
Amory, I want to pass it to you, man.
Paying rent, baby. I don't know. I had my last day in a kitchen 2 days ago, theoretically. But just, making enough money to keep the van going, making enough money to keep us in a bed, and to keep everything rolling and on the road. We just want to play music, but other people want all these other things from us, and it's horrible. We're weirdos, and we bring the weird out in people. And we also live around here, so it's what we're doing, and it's where we're meeting people, and we're meeting the stranger people in a lot of these towns, and they're bringing out their stranger friends. And it becomes a nice little strange hubbub of activity.
So now when you say you bring out the strange in folks or bring out strange folks, what are some of those strange personalities that come out to your shows?
A lot of people wear makeup and nice clothes, and then they dance very well. Yeah, they're pretty open to it.
You don't even necessarily have to do any of those things. You just gotta kind of let yourself be and do what you gotta do. Like, everybody's got a bit of weirdo in them. A lot of people just suppress the hell out of it. And if you can just, I don't know, take a shot of whiskey and just go dance your pants off at a band, like, I don't know. We just want to make people dance and smile, and I feel like a lot of people need that, and it encourages other things in their personality that they weren't necessarily, like, paying attention to at the time.
It's like a big hug, a big sweaty hug.
I mean, it definitely has very much a party atmosphere, very much a loose atmosphere. Does that also go into the original purpose of the music? Because I understand multiple genres kind of all encompassed in one here, but definitely seems like it's centered a little bit more in Eastern Europe, a little bit more of a folk traditional origin. Did that have the same purpose originally?
Yeah. About half of us are second gen. Like, our grandparents are from Eastern Europe and stuff like that, from the diaspora. From like mostly Romania and Hungary. I guess half of us are Jews now, Amory? Yes. And it's people are just like, you guys sound so gypsy, and that's offensive. That's a bad word. We are not Roma. We are we borrow from klezmer, like Americana folk tradition too, because like we are Americans, we're born here, but we'd like to kind of keep alive some bit of music culture that's no longer in existence, honestly. Like, Dan, our bass player, his grandparents are Hungarian, or his grandmother's Austrian, his grandfather's Hungarian, and then my brother and I, and then Amory, like, make up kind of like, 2/3 of the band right there. Just like, we knew the people who came over. Like, I lived with my grandparents for quite some time, so it's like they want to keep that culture alive, because like at least in my family, I think in yours too, Amory, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, the grandparents were trying to like, yo, get American to our parents, to our mothers. And so, they came from a very different cultural background, especially like, my grandfather joined the U.S. Army to like, become a citizen and all that, we kind of came up being like, hey, whoa, not everyone has a funny accented grandparent or two. And so it's like, well, why is this? Like, well, where's this coming from? That's what really sparked my interest. And like in college, like my minor was essentially ethnomusicology. Honestly, seeing Gogol Bordello at 18, I think it was in 2004. I just remember thinking, this is sick. And then like 4 years later, I was like, maybe I could try this too. We were a bit more traditional for a longer time. We were definitely like digging up like very traditional, like Eastern European and Balkan.
When we started, we were a string band. We had like a stand-up bass, banjo, violin, a couple of guitars, like an accordion, and that was pretty much our setup. We didn't have drums, we didn't have brass, we didn't have really anything that we'd that kind of defines us now. Except for the squeeze box, but
I learned how to
that's
sing in Yiddish.
yeah, right.
Have you guys ever brought your grandparents or parents to the show, and what were their reactions to it with this hybrid?
Mine are thoroughly dead and gone. So I would hope nothing, because maybe they would try to eat my brains. Our first year of being a band, we played a guy's like 70th birthday party. But he was a Holocaust survivor, and he just loved our sound. It reminded him of home.
He's like this cool dude. He actually knew my grandfather. He like shook my hand the first time we played a couple acoustic little acoustic private parties for him and his wife. And I just like remember looking at his wrist, and he had tats, like number tats. I was like, my culture was destroyed, but like I appreciate that you're bringing this, like, especially when we play our acoustic sets, like very traditional sounding. And he's like, it's just nice to hear. And we're like, that's pretty heavy, dude. That's pretty heavy.
With such a large band, I think it was 7 members right now, currently. Is that difficult to manage everybody and get the logistics worked out to get everybody on tour?
We got it down. Like, it took us some time, but like, and it helps that we're all in the same mindset. Just like, we're going to be doing this. This is our living. We need to have each other's back. So I was like, someone might be hungry. And it's like, hey, dude, don't worry. We got it. Like, we're all in this together. Or like, guitar strings are broken. Don't worry. We got this. Like, it's I don't want to say communist, but it's, yes. It's a communal kind of thing. Yes. Yeah, we're more of a cult. Like, we have some really great Kool-Aid.
Before you said that you did learn Yiddish, and I think you said you sung in Yiddish as well. Do you do much foreign language or Yiddish or other languages for music or whatever else?
Usually, I don't speak Yiddish whatsoever, but I sing in it. Just like learn what it helps them like kind of know what it means. I remember my grandpa, that was like what they spoke together when they didn't want, like my grandparents didn't want me to know things often, and they would like, they would bicker. They were married for like 60 years, so they were going to be bickering. And I just remember my mother like answering them in English when they would like be telling her to do stuff. My grandparents spoke Eastern Yiddish, which is pretty much dead, which has more Russian loan words than German.
Have you guys ever been to Eastern Europe, the Balkans, Hungary, or anywhere else around there?
I spent, actually, one of the times the band wasn't a band was when I spent a great deal of time in Lebanon, Turkey, and then I was in the Balkans for like a month, I guess, in like Belgrade. What I took away is like a love of brass. And that's why I really, really dig the brass in our band right now. Like, and just having that as like a forefront kind of aspect to it. I mean, there's the singing and the harmonies, which is like where we get like our Americana influence.
There's actually like a brass culture there. Like, there isn't so much in the United States. Like, we have what little brass culture we have left is kind of based out of New Orleans, which is really struggling and has been for a while now. And before that, it's really just kind of like jazz scene, and anybody else who wants to do something different than that, like you might be like me, like you're either playing in an orchestra, playing classical music, or like you might be like the random person like me who just like fell deeply in love with ska and like some of these other things. But like generally, we don't have much of a brass culture. People don't keep playing it. People don't want to play it. People can't play it in a band. Or if you are playing it in a band, you're making your band go from 4 to 7 people, and suddenly it becomes unsustainable. So like we have a weird way of dealing with brass in this country, but in other countries, and especially in like Serbia, it's just what the sound is, and people, it's just incredible.
Now let's talk about the last album that you guys just released, which is Change Your Life.
We recorded it in-house in Chris's bedroom and in my bedroom. Which was pretty fun. It is kind of a compilation album. It's a bunch of older songs that we kind of had on previous two EPs and we recorded in a couple new tunes. And it's kind of like our definitive sound, quote unquote. And it's called Change Your Life. Changed ours.
So what about people's lives would you imply they change or be changed after they listen?
I'm not trying to tell anybody what part of their life they need to change. People know that for themselves, whether or not they're willing to admit it to themselves. Everybody knows the part of their life that they want to change. Nobody's like perfect. If you're perfectly content, please give me a call and let me know how you found it.
Yeah.
Like, Let me, please. Yeah, we'll be like, this guy's life is perfect. Change yours to be like this one. But really, everybody knows what's going on, and I mean, a lot of people don't. People are pretty oblivious to their own problems and that sort of thing. But like, generally speaking, you have an idea of the things you want.
I had an experience 2 weeks ago in Rhode Island when like someone came up to me and was just like, "Man, you guys are killer." I'm like, "You play some weird music." And then he looked at me, kind of grabbed my lapels because I'm always dressed to the nines. He's like, "You are working something out on stage, aren't you?" I'm like, "You got something to like figure out." I was like, "I do." He's like, "We all do, man, and I really appreciate that you can be open about it." I was like, "Okay, sweet."
All right, well, I'm going to let you guys go now so that you can get some sleep, hopefully. Before we go, is there anything else that you would like to add? Any final thoughts on life, the band, whatever you want to say?
Change your life. Well, come, like, dude, check us out. You'll like us. It's fun. We'll like you. We enjoy ourselves, and you will too.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Thanks
so
for
much,
having us.
You have been listening to Recess with Spinelli here on WSPN, Skidmore Radio in Saratoga Springs, New York, as well as Hoxton FM in London, England, and the New York State Music Blog. And we have been speaking with Asher and Amory of Bella's BARTOK, based in Northampton, Massachusetts. Their latest album, Change Your Life, is out and available now.